What's up guys, my name's Diachronic Heroes here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 Titan exotics in the game based on my own personal opinion. Now I am personally a Titan main and I use Titans a lot. I used a lot of Titan exotics and over my time I found that these 5 exotics with a 6 kind of honorable mention are the best in the game. Now if I've made a mistake, you think there are other exotics I really need to consider, please wait till the end. I mentioned a few in honorable mention to hopefully discuss those, but if I don't mention it in the top 5 as well as the honorable mentions at the end, please leave a comment down below about something that I may have missed, of some synergy, some combo that I forgot about. And if you do end up liking the video, make sure you leave a like down below, and if you don't end up liking the video, instead take a look at these cute animals and then reconsider your position. And of course subscribe for more Destiny top 5s in the future as well as cute animals. I love these cute animals, man. I love them. And the last thing I want to say before I get into it, I apologize for being so verbose about this, but I actually have a Twitter and a Discord, which are linked in the description down below next to their respective little Dorito symbols. If you ever wanted to get in contact with me, or you wanted to play, or join my Discord server, or just tweet at me, or open up a dialogue because you just want to say hi and talk, let me know. I answer every single one of those. I'm extremely active on Discord and Twitter, so send me a message. I'd be more than happy to answer your question, or just say hi, or talk, or maybe even discuss exotic armors for the warlocks, maybe in the next video. And then lastly, if I ever end up live streaming, which I do on Twitch a lot, I oftentimes announce it on Twitter or as well on Discord. So make sure you stay tuned to see more stuff from me in the future. So without further ado, let's talk about number 5. Coming at number 5 is going to be the Insurmountable Skull Fort. Now what the Skull Fort does is that kills with arc melee abilities trigger health regeneration as well as restore melee energy. So basically, if you get a kill with the melee hit, you're gonna get the full melee back. What makes this so useful is with the Smash class. Now many people know about the double grenades and using pulse grenades all the time with the Titan, which is very effective. Now what they don't know in that subclass, if you get melee arc hits, you get grenade energy back. Now if you combine that with the Skull Fort, you can infinitely chain melee kills to get more grenade energy. Now to put it in perspective, if you shoulder charge and hit 3 enemies with that single shoulder charge, get one of them killed, you're gonna get a full grenade back. Only 3 enemy hits and you get a full grenade. So if you hit 6 enemies, you get 2 full grenades. And on a lot of missions, there's a lot of riffraff that you can actually get plenty of melee kills on. Now obviously in high ranking Nightfalls, it's gonna be a little difficult because you're gonna die pretty quickly, but this is still an effective method at getting more grenades. And when it comes to the Smash class, grenades is where it's at. Coming in at number 4 in this list of top 5 for Titan exotics is gonna be a Sentinel exotic. Pretty much the only Sentinel exotic that I use, the Mask of the Quiet One. Now this exotic helmet basically gives you grenade energy, melee energy, and class ability energy when damaged. It also makes it so avoid ability kills grant health regeneration. Firstly, the amount of grenade energy, melee energy, class ability energy you get is pretty much like less than 5%. It's not gonna be amazing, however it does actually do something. What you really want to look at this is that firstly, it does improve yourself, it does give you more of everything you really want. But secondly, the most important part in my opinion is that void ability kills grant health regeneration, making you even more tanky of a subclass. Now the Sentinel subclass is known to be the most tanky class, and this makes it even more tanky. Not only will your melees give you more health regeneration, which, you know, there's actually a thing that gives you an overshield if you get a kill, your grenades will give you health regeneration, but finally, your super will give you health regeneration. Every time you get a super kill, you get health regeneration, making this the tankiest subclass in the entire game. And on top of that, you can actually just use a shield and defend yourself against all this enemy damage. So if you find yourself at a point where you need to use a Sentinel for like a heroic challenge or something, and you're just having to use it for some reason, use Mask of the Quiet One. It's gonna keep you alive for a lot longer than you think. Coming up next at number 3 is going to be somewhat of a tie. Now a tie between the Lion's Rampart and the Dune Marchers. Both of these are being argued in the community for being the ones that make you go faster. The Dune Marcher makes it so you sprint faster, the top speed making a top speed faster, makes you so you can go through things faster. The Lion's Rampart makes you more aerial maneuverable. Rampart makes it so you're aerial. The Lion's Rampart gives you more aerial mobility. The Lion's Rampart gives you more The Lion's Rampart gives you more aerial maneuverability. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to say in my life. Alright, I got a challenge for everybody out there. Try saying this sentence very quickly. The Lion's Rampart gives you more aerial maneuverability. It is so hard to say quickly, which means you can actually move faster when you're doing your strafe lifts with your Titan. And in general, from my tests, I've found that you go 25% faster if you're using the strafe lift on the Titan. So you can use it to go faster, and you can make it so you can actually escape enemies and avoid bullets by pinging off in a direction a lot easier. Now, overall from the test, I found that they're very, very similar. However, the Lion's Rampart was 0.3 seconds faster over a 20-second timer. To be honest, it's really just up to whichever one you have, and I found Lion's Rampart to just be a little bit faster. Coming up at number 2 in this top 5 exotics for Titan is one of the most underrated Titan exotics in the game. That's going to be the Synthos exotic gauntlets for the Titan. Now, before you guys start going to the comments, yeah, that's right, delete that comment. This is actually a very good exotic. Let me explain why. So firstly, this armor increases melee lunge range by about 50%, improves melee by about 50 to 100%, and super damage by about 50% when surrounded. Now, surrounded means 2 or more players in PvP and 3 or more enemies in PvE. In PvP, you can actually get to the point where you can one-shot melee enemies. If you have this, you get your surrounded, and you also get a melee kill with the Sentinel class to give you that overshield, which also gives you more energy. You can actually do 270 damage melees in the Crucible, which is insane. But in PvE, what makes this so particularly awesome is 50% more super damage. Now, this surround bonus lasts for about 8 seconds, so let's say you're using a smash or a sentinel, all of a sudden you start to panic, there's a lot of enemies around you, you have the surround, and you do 50% more damage. In high-ranking Nightfalls, this is very crucial because at about 25 handicap, you'll find that your smash does not one-shot hit any of the Cabal enemies, or any enemies that have a comparable amount of health to the regular Cabal. This makes it very unusable, makes it so the Arcstrider is the only thing that can really one-shot enemies and still add kill. But with the Synthos, you can actually find that the Smash class is still usable. Combine that with the Sentinel class, you can also still making it very usable. However, I prefer the Smash over the Sentinel just because of the grenades. And then lastly, it can still also be used with hammers. If you ever wanted to do 50% more damage with your hammer, of course you did. So when you're playing on Callus or you're playing against Argos, you easily get a surround because enemies are literally everywhere, and you do 50% more damage with your super. That's insane. And the only Titan exotic to really steal my heart more than the Synthos, coming in at number 1 is the Hallow Fire Heart. Now, this chest piece has been used for a very long time. It didn't even need an exotic buff in the previous exotic buffs, and it is still my number 1 favorite exotic for Titans in the game. Now, what this does is it greatly improves the recharge rate of your solar abilities while Hammer of Soul is charged. So if you get your super, you're going to start recharging your grenade and your melee a lot faster. For some reason, the class ability is not affected. Now, some websites say melee and grenade energy recharge is reduced by 75%. However, in my own studies, I found it's more like 50 to 60%. So it takes a 41-second recharge of the grenade down to 21 seconds. Now, if you combine that with something like the sunspots from the other tree that most people don't use, you can get it down to 11 seconds from getting that Sun Warrior standing in your sunspots, infinitely chaining the sunspots on killed enemies, infinitely getting these sunspots to buff you, to have these faster recharges. You're gonna literally have a thermite grenade 100% of the time as long as you keep getting kills with it. And then the last part about it, if you're not using the Sunspot one, using the other one, you have Hammer Strike, which is the most crucial and pretty much the only thing that's required these days from the Titans is that you have the Hammer Strike, which if you hit an enemy with it, makes it so they take 50% damage from everything. This is crucial for things like Escalation Protocol, for doing damage to bosses like Kaor. Just in general, doing 50% more damage is awesome. And with this on, if you don't use your super, or for example, you have a period of time we want to save the super, you're gonna have your melee charge even faster, so you can use it on elite enemies, because your melee is probably gonna recharge in about like 10 to 15 seconds. You can use it on those gladiators if you need to get more damage on them. Use it on those centurions or something else that's elite. Overall, this is a very powerful neutral game, and it makes it so you don't feel like you're wasting your super because you're getting grenade and melee energy in return. Anyways, that's pretty much it. That is the countdown of the top 5 Titan exotics in the game, in my opinion. Well, technically, I guess it was the top 6. Honorable mentions to things like, firstly, the Action War Rig, making it so your auto rifles pretty much have a larger clip, makes it very effective using Sweet Business. However, I've started to stray away from auto rifles. so I don't really need it as much. Aeon Safe is not useful because nobody uses it, so nobody uses it. Helm of Satan 14 isn't useful because nobody uses Ward of Dawn. If Ward of Dawn had Weapons of Light to make you do more damage, then it would be very useful, but it's not really any at the moment. And lastly, Armamentarium, getting double grenades is not useful for anything other than the Sentinel. Because firstly, having Armamentarium on your double grenade arc class doesn't affect it because you can still only have a maximum of 2 grenades and you want the top for the longer duration. Using it for the hammer is not useful because, you know, Hollow Fire Heart is more useful because you get, you know, grenades twice as fast rather than just having a 2 capacity. And then lastly, Sentinel doesn't have that much powerful grenades, but does have a lot of synergy with grenades and melees to get grenades faster that you might want to use it with Sentinel, but overall I just find that the Master Acquired one is just better for the tankiness. And that's pretty much it. There's a lot of other exotics in the game that I did mention. Let me know in the comments down below if there was something that you thought was quite powerful that I missed. I'd be more than happy to give it another try or mention. If I find something out that's like game breaking, I'll put it in the pinned comment. Anyways, that's going to be the video for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you want to see more top 5s in the future, make sure you stay tuned because I do lots of top 5s every single week on pretty much Saturday or Sunday, depending on how lazy I am. And of course, check out past ones. I've done top 5s on the top 5 kinetic weapons, the top 5 energy, the top 5 DPS power weapons. I've done DPS power weapon matching to show the DPS of every weapon and its potential capabilities. Check out my previous videos and let me know what you think, and of course let me know what you want to see in the future. Anyways, I've been your host Dichronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.